Hello, denizens of the internet. Lord Elon recently dropped a tweet on his X, which included a document titled Disney General Entertainment Content Inclusion Standards. This was initially portrayed as a secret leak, but the document has been available online for a good while, including an ABC network version, and Disney owns ABC. The World of Belonging has been on Disney's website for also a good long time. The fact that it has been part of Disney's existential existence actually makes this even more scary. So while this is not the big gotcha it was initially thought to be, it is still very instructive on multiple fronts. One, it's clear what is driving Disney's creative decisions. Two, how many other studios are doing the same thing? Third, based on this and what is happening in the educational sphere across North America, especially here in Canada, it's clear to me that DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusivity, is absolutely not about diversifying people. It's about curtailing diversity of thought. First, I want to briefly go through this inclusion standards document. On the left here, we can see the categories. Standard A, on-screen representation. At least 3 of the following 5 areas need to be met to fulfill Standard A. Standard B, creative leadership. At least 3 of the 6 needed. Standard C, below the line, which means the people who actually do the production. 2 out of 5. Standard D, industry access and career development. 3 out of 6. Let's just deal with Standard A and a bit of B, as they kind of repeat. What we have here is a quota system. At some point, that was actually considered a bad thing. Not anymore, apparently. Anyway, A1 characters. 50% or more of regular and returning written characters come from underrepresented groups. A2 actors. 50% or more of regular and recurring actors come from underrepresented groups. It's hard to say. A3, secondary characters, meaningful inclusion of underrepresented groups as secondary or more minor on-screen individuals, including background actors. A4, series premise, meaningful integration of underrepresented groups in overall themes and narratives. A5, episodic storytelling, ongoing meaningful integration of, guess who? Underrepresented groups in episodic themes and narratives. For Standard B, you have B1, 50% or more of producer and above on writing staff, and 50% or more of co-producer and below on writing staff come from underrepresented groups. B2, 50% or more of episodic directors come from underrepresented groups. So, what do you think? At face value, wanting more diversity is a fine and noble goal. A quota system, however, is problematic on several fronts. Where does merit factor into it? Also, if the studio is doing nothing else but agonizing over this, then the people they've hired will be making this a higher priority over creative decisions. Now, match that up with the insistence that gay actors have to play gay actors, and trans actors have to play trans, black actors have to play... Damn, there goes my shot at playing James Brown. In all seriousness, we never needed Charles Bronson playing an indigenous person. I had nothing to do with that movie. The casting side is a bit easier than the writing production side because of the availability of talent. But who are these underrepresented groups? One aspect I've been harping on for years is dividing humans up by race is not just racist, it's counterproductive to creative freedom. Creative and freedom go hand in hand. Without freedom, you can't be creative. Can't ethnicities be underrepresented? Don't they count? What happened to Icelanders? Why can't we have more Icelanders in our shows? It comes down to numbers and availability. How many Icelanders are in the acting and production side of the business in Hollywood? What if there are only a couple and they both suck? Are you still required to hire them? Oh, but they're white, so no worries, because Disney will just race and gender swap them anyway. What I'm illustrating here is the importance of the actual pools of talent and experienced people. Obviously, providing the opportunities as outlined in this inclusion standard is important. No one's against that. How do you fill the pools without providing opportunities? The issue is that people are being hired for their DEI status and not for their talent. We know this to be a fact. Perhaps it might be better characterized as lack of experience rather than lack of talent. I'm not trying to disparage anyone trying to get a break in a tough business. Black performers are getting neutral roles that have nothing to do with their skin color, but Latino actors are pretty much still stuck doing drug dealers, except for that Pedro Pascal who must be really pissing off the Latino community. What happens when the underrepresented become overrepresented as it relates to their percentage of the population? And what does overrepresented mean anyway? I don't know. What happens if the Asians start doing a bit too well? If there is an overrepresentation, will there be a mechanism to balance things back out? Not in your fucking life, baby. Is the underrepresented divided into subgroupings, including gays, lesbians, and the rest of the Wi-Fi password people? And in what percentages? There is a disclaimer at the bottom of the document. Context is critical when evaluating if a group is underrepresented. Anyone involved in hiring decisions is prohibited from asking candidates for their talent about their actual or perceived race, religion, color, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, military or veteran status, age, disability, or any other legally protected categories, which is meant to indemnify Disney. This system is looking more like a fraudulent Olympic ice dancing competition rather than any professional sport. Ice dancing is judged and has a history of scandals, whereas professional sport is fundamentally a merit-based system. You want your favorite sports team to field the best possible players, unless it's the Maple Leafs. Which is why Hollywood has me so confused. Even when a production is assembled with the best possible talent, you can still end up with a stinker. How on earth will hiring mediocre talent based on a DEI system that is obviously gamed help anyone make better movies and TV shows? There's absolutely no doubt that Hollywood is an old boys club. People will always work with others that they know and have confidence in. It's tough to break in, but you really have to earn the confidence of those people. Nowhere in the document is there a requirement to be passionate. Ironically, I'm not sure that Spike Lee's She's Gotta Have It or John Waters' Hairspray would pass muster under this system, which proves the point I've made 100 times. We don't need more diversity in movies. It's actually gotten quite boring. We need more diverse movies. I understand that people need credits and experience, but based on what is going on at Disney and the captured comic book industry, this all seems more akin to people satisfied with being a unionized lifer rather than becoming the next J.K. Rowling. I know that's triggering to many of you DEI lottery winners, and that's exactly the problem. What do you think, denizens? Till next time, be seeing you.